Yeah, that is a good idea.
Straight fertilizers here as well as insecticides. Most of our vendors prefer if we do not mix chemicals together. They always want insecticide. For some reason, insecticides, they want it separately from any of the other sides, which are the fungicides and the pre-emergents and stuff like that, the herbicides. So this is just insecticide and straight fertilizers and blends. We actually this line is brand new. We had an existing system here. We just put the robot in. It's probably been in less than 2 months.
And then what size do they use? Little, big, just big?
The bag sizes anywhere from 10 to 60 pounds.
Okay.
Our scales, the way the scales are, is 10 pound. We get less than 10 pounds. The weights go, up, down, up, down, up, down. We have some small scales, and some of our other companies can do small packages better than we can do here. So we kind of stick to 10 to 60. Most of everything's 50 pounds. The retail line, we get into the smaller bags. The regular home, like 10s, 18s, 16s, 15s, and then up to 30s, and then occasionally the 60s.
Are the stock hoppers fed by conveyor, or what feeds stock
Yeah.
hoppers? The ones up on the car.
Basically, everything starts across the railroad tracks. It's in another building. It's actually where the production field. There's bins over the other side where we pull different raw materials. We'll load a scale, and it's like making a cake. It's like we're batch weighing everything. So many pounds of this, so many pounds of that, and then what happens is then it goes from here up an elevator, across 2 conveyors, goes in a whole hopper. From the whole hopper, then it goes to one of the 2 mixers. And they're basically just rotating drums that have flights in the inside that basically the flights mix it in the drum. There's a door at the end that drops inside, and then with the way the flights are curved and constructed inside, it just drops on the door. And basically, that's how it exits out. It goes through another drag line, goes across to the next, still in this same building, goes across the screen, so any contaminants and big products get screened. Then it goes across the roof over here, and then comes to the bagging house, which is right above. And then from here is the bagging equipment. Basically, there's 7 guys that run this line. There's a group leader. We have a union shop. So the bag hanger, he basically manages the line. Puts bags in the line. There's a guy that sews and seals, like behind you, and then guided through the sealer. From there, it gets coded with a day, date, and time, and basically a work order number. So if we have any QC issues, well, basically it comes back. We can tell what shift, what time of day, who's running it. Then from there, we have a kicker that basically just kicks the gray and orange machine, basically just kicks it like a football. Kicks the bag and lays it flat, and then basically comes over and gets presented to the robot. The robot just comes over with the fingers, picks it up, and stacks it on the skid. Golf courses, sod farmers, and then we have the retail line that basically just does the homeowner grades. And basically, there will be under like Green Gold, Green View, so it's Lebanon Pro, Lebanon Turf, and then Proscapes are under the Pro guys, and then Green Gold, and then Green View. Then out west, in their plant Danville, they use a few other different names out there that we carry, more recognizer Midwestern name. But for the most part, we do more professional stuff in Lebanon. More of the retail, like the preen, is done out in Danville, Illinois. We'll do that in our plant in Illinois, and they'll truck it back. They have a big distribution center out there, just like we have here. So,
Just roughly. Couple?
yeah, we have one that's a chemical engineer, and then one that's a chemist, and then one guy that's part-time that retired. So basically 3.
That's a good resource for this committee to understand that we can tap that resource.
Oh, sure.
If we run into a problem somewhere other than Lebanon Seaboard.
Oh, yeah.
Some expertise is here.
Yeah. Plus, we have quite a few people that are knowledgeable too. I'm not a chemist, but I can fight my way through it if I had to. In my degree, mine's engineering, mechanical engineering, so I can still get around. And I used to be in charge of maintenance, so I know this. Like, is actually doing is a general contractor, but the concrete work is subbed out to Wolfson from Lancaster. One of the comments that the guy made, he said there's more steel and reinforcing rods in this than the Route 30 abutments.
Really? What's the reason for it?
Well, because of if one bin is empty, because of the pressure of pushing those walls, so you don't have the walls collapse. But there's rebar.
That's a good deal.
Can you tell me again how many train loads of stuff you do a day or ship
We'll
out?
empty about, probably right now we do about 7 to 9. And we're going to add 3, so we'll do about 10
Wow.
rail cars. Basically the bins on this side, we get about 80 tons. And then there's probably 15 going down this side. And then it's going down the south side. We have bins that are 160 tons, probably about 6 of those, and then there's about 6 more that do about 240 tons down the other end. And make a big L around mixing, and those are all support bins for the mixing plant, and also for that line we were just in. The materials on the south side here are basically raw materials for any blends that we might do. The dolomite is basically straight in. You see 2 different colors. One is the place in Hanover is Baker, and theirs is basically a light colored stone, and then the black colored stone is basically from Lancaster, from Roars. The next bin is Ocean Grow, which is big right now. It's organics, basically human waste is what it is. And then there's potash, and then we have DAP, and then we have urea and sulfur coated urea. Biodac, which is basically newspaper, and we'll basically spray a chemical on that as a carrier, and then basically they'll just, if it goes out in the ground, basically just absorbs the chemical and absorbs moisture. This corner right here is going to be the truck loadout, which is where this new hopper is. So we're going to load trucks. It's going to be underneath this canopy. We'll put the elevator up. Pipe that will come across where the big gap is here in the middle is to dump bigger trailers. We call this one our 05 line, and basically any other value-added chemicals get put on here. Those 2 drums basically is what they just went in and cleaned out. We have some of the larger chemicals that we use to stockpile, like pre-emergent. We have Bayland and Trekland, and the other 2 smaller tanks. This tank that says sea oil is getting converted to another pre-emergent, pendimethalin, and then we have sea oil, another thing. Sea oil is basically like a salad dressing. We use it as a dust control, but for the most part, when you run the yellows, we got to flush out the lines. Sea oil we heat up to about 100 degrees, which is basically. It's like a salad dressing. It's about that weight. It's in oil, and then
What's it based on? What type of?
I don't know. We use soy oil.
Yeah, we
have soy oil. We have sea oil, and the reason we're stuck with the sea oil is because what's registered in the EPA. So it's registered and accepted as a flushing agent. So we're limited to what we can use.
Can you build and recycle it, or?
No.
Just done.
Shoot it through and done. We have there's a hopper, or not a hopper, a little tank up there that sits on a scale and basically just weigh off, 10 pounds and chase the lines with it.
Okay, so it's not a lot.
No. And then some of the other ones, there's approved line chasers too with some of the other chemicals that we have to run through and chase. So the sea oil is basically now in another building. We also use another dust control agent that is a lot heavier and a lot thicker, and I think it's about under 80, like 90 degrees, 90 to 80 degrees. It sets up like tar. It gets really thick. So as long as we keep it over 100, 120, and then we'll spray, and it's by far a better dust control agent than the other one. But Like I said, we've been trying the soy oil. Same kind of bagger, same kind of basic system. This robot is older. This robot's like 5 years older than the other robot. But basically the line and everything is similar. Scale on the outside with it way off. And then there's a whole hopper up above. And then they can have one in each batch in each one of the 2 mixers. So basically they're 4 batches ahead of the bagging line. The bagging line has, it will discharge out of the mixers, go to the elevator, up the elevator to a screen, and then from the screen it goes down to the bagger. We can get, depending upon the density of the product, almost like 2 batches above the bagger. When we run 60 pounders up here that nobody keeps up, but 50s we're pretty much, we can keep up pretty well.
So is this a continuous blender or is this our batches?
Batches, everything's batch. Yeah. Most of the time we're running 7,200 pounds up to like, and we've been testing like we're trying to get bigger batches and like up to 9,000, maybe 9,200 pounds. The mixers can take it. It's just a matter of spray lines in each one of the mixers, and if you get too much bulk, it will have a tendency to fall on the spray rods and then bend the spray tubes with the rods back. Or we're not going to get uniform coating, so that's why we're testing some bigger sizes.
How many jobs do you think Lebanon Seaboard provides? You said
there are 62 union employees, and then we have 6 staff members in the office. The other office is a corporate office. They have probably, on an average, maybe 30, and then they have salesmen, sales managers coming in and out.
So somewhere around 100 altogether?
There's probably about 100 a quarter, something like that here. Yeah.
And when was Lebanon Seaboard founded? It was originally Lebanon Chemical, right?
Well, it was originally Central Chemical. Oh. And then when Vernon bought it, he made it Lebanon Chemical. So that was probably 47.
When Vernon got it, or originally?
Vernon got it 47.
Okay.
So he's had it. It's been in the Bishop family since 1947. And then Vernon really changed the way the plant looked and new construction, probably late 50s, early 60s. And then basically from there he started adding. We got into the farm group years ago where we had a lot of farm locations. And then, because he was picking them up dirt cheap and basically reorganizing them and making them profit. The problem with it was you're so regulated with time, temperature, wind, and because a lot of it had to do with spray applications in farm fields, and we had those big agriculture sprayers and it just it was too much of a timing issue, and that was the biggest brunt of the corporation, but the smallest margins. So we finally did sell it, and it just went basically fertilizer. So we have fertilizer, grass seed, mulch, and also mulch for seed. We have organics, liquid organics in Virginia, and then a dry organic plant in Indiana. And we have a plant here in Lebanon, a plant here in Danville, Illinois. The bird food is up in Binghamton, New York, and the mulch plant is in Arcade, New York. We also sell like the mulch for your garden, the bark mulch. We don't process any of it here. It's all processed out and basically just goes into the Lowe's stores. All the green and retail stuff is out in Danville, and we do all the pros here. So.
And how long was Vernon active in the corporation, or is?
Basically, he was still.
He died.
Till the day he died. He was somehow getting in here and getting right. As long as he was mobile, he was here. He was like 93, I think, when he passed away.
And so you said it's still in the family. Who's running it now?
Kathy,
his daughter. Okay.
Yep. And then Tommy, the son, is on the board, as well as Rich Newmaster, and there's 2 other gentlemen. I don't know. Jack Steele and some other banker.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's like an acre of chemicals, huh?
4 acres under the river.
How many? 4 acres. Wow.
More than 200,000 square feet.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, we just increased, we just added the section in the back. We'll go back here.
Is the floor stacking?
This building is two-air rotation.
See to hear this one.
Yep.
It goes on. If you're looking at that wire,
Yep. Yep. It's unreal.
Woodpecker bird food? I never heard of that before. Look at that.
Yeah.
Eric's actually on
Carefully
the
selected, clean
They
ingredients.
actually pay guys about watch birds.
see what you eat,
Yeah, exactly.
see what you like.
And that's how they come up with these formulas to basically see.
Yeah.
There was a big guy down in West Virginia that basically they go out and he has 18,000 feeders and
Yeah.
he puts what you could, whatever mix you like and say this is what this bird's gonna eat and that's what this one's gonna eat.